Hi guys, and welcome back to the Baker Bunch. If you guys are new here, I am Nisha. If you guys are an oldie but goodie, hey girl, hey. So I feel like whenever I'm sitting on this couch, you know that it's going to be a more of an intimate one-on-one type of conversation, maybe like a parenting update or just kind of like a moment with me. So on today's video, as you guys can see by the title, I'm going to talk about my breastfeeding journey, what breastfeeding has taught me, and just some things of that nature. So go ahead and hit the like button, make sure that you subscribe and join the family, turn on that little bell so you don't miss any of our future uploads, and let's jump into it. So Tamir is 22 months as of this month. Oh my god, we're gonna have a 2-year-old in 2 months, and it is so crazy. So I knew that before having a son that I wanted to breastfeed. The moment we found out we were pregnant and we went to a few classes, I knew that for me, breasts would be best. I felt like I have big breasts anyway, so why not put them to use? In my personal family, like in my immediate family, I think I only knew like 2 people who breastfed. Other than that, everybody else did formula. But I had went to a WIC class and I saw the benefits of breast milk versus formula. So when we went to the birthing class, we talked about different positions and the lactation specialist and things of that nature. And I just felt like I knew I wanted that closeness with my son. I wanted to be able to build his immune system, you know, give him antibodies in me and transfer to him. And I just wanted to experience that. So thankfully, I have been able to experience it now for 22 months. And we have been going back and forth with the weaning process. Originally, I said that I only want to breastfeed for about 6 months, and that's it. So we made it to 6 months, and I'm like, okay, I can do this for a year. We make it to a year, and now I'm like, I do not want to go over 2 years old. If you guys have seen some of Tamir's previous updates, you'll see that I'll leave them in the cards up there or somewhere. You'll see that I was told that I can't breastfeed well, it's not best to breastfeed overnight once Tamir got his teeth. He got his teeth really late at like 9 months. So basically, when you breastfeed overnight, the milk kind of stays in their mouth because it doesn't have anywhere to go really, and it sinks into their teeth and it causes their teeth to rot. And so that's some of the things that we were experiencing with Tamir. So I knew that I needed to stop breastfeeding overnight, which was a real challenge and still is a challenge for us. But he had day weaned when I started working as well as school. So I was already going to school, but I wasn't going for that long. But once I started working more hours, he kind of started eating more, and it was just a whole process. So the first thing that breastfeeding has taught me is faith. I think that when we first brought Tamir home from the hospital, we had been home for maybe like a day or 2, and my breast began to engorge. So, you know, like the first day the baby's stomach is like that small and it starts to grow, but then your boobs become engorged because the milk is starting to come in. Oh my god, it was one of the most painful things I've ever experienced. I didn't want to touch them, I didn't want Tay to touch them, I didn't want the baby to touch them. It was just, oh my god. And then like my nipples were like cracking, and they were very sensitive because he was feeding every hour, and I had nipple cream, but it was just something that I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do this. And I remember throughout the night as I would feed him, every time he would latch, I would literally have to pray. Like, I would like take a deep breath and I'm like, Lord Jesus, please don't let it. Like, I literally had to like pray my way through it. So I feel like it taught me the faith, having faith in my body, faith that, you know, my breast will produce enough milk to feed him and satisfy his hunger, because you just never know with what your body's going to produce. You don't know if it's going to produce enough. And I just had to have faith in God and in my body that it will produce enough. And thank God that it truly has. Breastfeeding has taught me is courage. I feel like I didn't realize how much of a, I don't know how to say it, how much of a, I get not taboo, but there are so many people who have issues with women breastfeeding in public and normalizing breastfeeding and sexualizing breastfeeding. And I didn't really know that until I actually started breastfeeding myself. I was prepared for like strangers being maybe like side-eyeing me or something in public, which thankfully I never got. Most of the time when people do see me breastfeed, they'll smile and kind of turn their head and keep going. But I had heard so many horror stories of people like confronting them, starting arguments, saying like, you're molesting your child because you're breastfeeding them, and just all kind of crazy things. I did experience some naysayers in like my family, my in-laws and my side of the family, but I just always stood up for myself in the sense that this is the best thing for my son. If you don't like it, then you don't have to look. I kind of basically don't care what you have to say. And it hurt my feelings many times. I talked to my husband about it because I'm just like, I feel like it's crazy. Everyone's like, just stuff a bottle in his mouth or whatever and, give him like formula or whatever, and not thinking about like the pros to breastfeeding, but only looking at it as like a sexual thing. And it's just like, first of all, it's not the same as having intercourse or sexual relations with my husband versus feeding my son. Like, I can just, like, Harry doesn't touch my breast, but like, I could totally still tell the difference. It's not the same. So I felt like I had to have the courage to stand up for not only me, but my son, and then also kind of educating them that like it's not this type of taboo sexual thing, that your breasts, your body was made to breastfeed and to give your child that best option. Now there are women who aren't able to breastfeed for whatever reason, and at the end of the day, if you're one of those women who can't, then I feel like feed is best. Like, you have to feed your child. Like, I remember seeing this crazy article that the woman, she tried to breastfeed her child and she couldn't, so she starved her baby and her baby ended up dying. And I think that's absurd. At the end of the day, I feel like you shouldn't feel pressure if you can't, you know what I mean? Then I feel like it doesn't make you less of a mother if you can't for whatever reason. I feel like you have to do what's best for your child, but I just hate the stigma and the attacking. So, sorry for that rant. However, but it's taught me courage. It's taught me confidence. Part of the courage and standing up for people is, the confidence in me and who I am, and, the confidence and, that I am a woman and I am a mother, and, I can do anything that I set my mind to. And I feel like sometimes when you become a mom, you kind of take the back seat and you put your like your husband or your children before you, and you don't really, you kind of can lose yourself. And I feel like for me, it's made me more confident and it's made me more secure within myself. Like, you know what, I put my mind to it and I've done it and I've exceeded and went abundant above what I even thought that was possible, So lastly, I guess I can say that it has taught me perseverance and to keep going, because again, there's been times where I'm just like, I can't do this, I don't, this hurts. And then, earlier in breastfeeding, like the first from 0 to 9 months, you have to wear like the breast pads and you have to learn so many different things. And, it's a learning process, but I persevered through it all. So breastfeeding, I feel like I would totally do it again. If I could do it again, and if God blesses me to be able to produce, I most definitely do want to do pumping and breastfeeding and introduce them to the bottle, because it was a little hard with Tamir at the beginning, like going back to school and stuff, because he wouldn't take a sippy cup, he wouldn't take a bottle, he wouldn't take a pacifier. So like his eating habits were a little bit strained from like, I'll say like 9 months to probably like 15 months. He really wouldn't, like if I went to school, he wouldn't really eat anything until I came back. So he would only breastfeed and take for me. So moving forward, that would be something that I totally would do. But I'm thankful nonetheless for my experience and my journey. We have worked on weaning, like I said. Yesterday he went a full day without any milk. Overnight he didn't have any milk. I kind of tell him like, there's no more, you know what I mean? And I make sure that I give him his 3 meals. I make sure that I'm giving him snacks so that he doesn't, want the milk, or I spell it out to Tay. A great thing that I am happy about is that he really doesn't like juices at all. He'll prefer water. So I'm so happy that he's taking food. I'm happy that his iron has went up and that I've got to experience this with my body. And I'm just praying that I don't get overly engorged and that it doesn't hurt. So far, so good. If all else fails, I will do the cabbage method. If you guys have any tips or suggestions for me continuing to move forward in this weaning process and my end of my breastfeeding journey, then make sure that you guys leave them below. If you enjoyed these couch talks with me, let me know again. Give a thumbs up or comment any suggestions or any other topics that you guys would like for me to discuss and talk about. I do want to do like some type of girl talk, maybe like a chit chat type thing, kind of similar to this and this type of setting. If you guys love this, again, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will check you guys in the next one. Bye.